Coming up on the GenGAMEcast, we talk about the 3DS price drop. Ubisoft loves its DRM. Majora's Mask needs a 3D make, and much more. All coming up on the GenGAMEcast. Hey, and welcome to the GenGAMEcast for Monday, August 1st, 2011. I'm Trevor Mignani, and joining me today on the podcast is...
Kevin O'Rourke.
Lex McGann.
And George Picard.
And today on this show here, we got some new stuff here. We're trying out a new format for the show. We're going to be focused on just a couple topics, but we're going to get really in-depth in it. But we're going to keep some topics, some segments in here that we know you guys really love. And that is, of course, we're going to kick it off with What Are You Playing? George, what have you been doing this past week?
I've been actually going to school, which kind of sucks, actually. But, no, I've been playing more League of Legends, still kind of hooked on it, and NCAA Football 2012, getting ready for Madden in a month.
Awesome. Lex, what have you been doing this past week?
I have been playing Catherine, which is a very interesting game thing. And
game
still
thing.
Playing. Yes,
it's a game,
it is a game thing. And I've also been playing that one game, Ocarina of Time 3DS.
Oh. You know that one game
I heard of that.
with the sword and the and the quest and the Ganondorf. So,
that's
Kev,
really been a...
I've been playing the Get to Your Train on Time game.
Kevin's been on vacation, so he's back.
To keep myself sane, I've been playing mostly iPod Angry Birds. I've been playing Angry Birds on the iPod, and that's really it.
You know, Kevin is wearing a very dangerous shirt in this basement because I'm just not a fan of the Nationals as he's flaunting his shirt there. Our Mets beat you guys in the game.
Steven Strasburg's coming back soon. Good stuff.
I actually got to watch the Nationals get spanked by the Mets. 8-3.
That must be great.
Not gaming related, but still. That's what I did. I played Angry Birds.
But if you're watching us pre-recorded here, this is something very interesting and exciting. This is our first video podcast.
Is it?
Yes. Well, the first one that we're recording with video. We've tried to do video for all the podcasts, but this is the first time that we're actually recording the video and planning on using the video.
Works.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's still working. I haven't seen it crash.
I haven't seen any smoke rising from the computer over there, so I think we're in good shape. Normally when smoke tends to rise in Trevor's basement, that's when we turn a few things off. We turn the MacBook off and we turn the we just run really.
We run really fast in the direction of my camera. But anyway, we just want to thank a couple people here. First of all, we want to thank the folks over at multiplayernation.com. They are a tournament ladder and just gaming ladder website. They have ladders for just about any game you could want. So head on over and make an account over at multiplayernation.com. And we also want to thank mcpub.org. They are the official GenGame.net Minecraft server. Free to play on. Great mods, great admins. Always a friendly place to play. So head on over to mcpub.org in your Minecraft game and play with us today. And without a further ado, let's get on to the first topic of business.
I want to hear what you're playing. I feel like we do this every
time we
do a podcast. You forget.
Yeah, well,
you forget that you're
I'm here. I'm here, but it's just you're in my frame now. I could be in your frame too. But I've been playing more of the Master Quest and Ocarina of Time 3D, and that's all I've been doing.
Fair.
I played some Team Fortress 2. I'm getting hooked to it. It is addictive. I have to say, I can't believe I let this game go. But now that it's free to play, I have no excuse to not play it anymore. And now we can move on to topic number one. So apparently that 3DS got a price cut.
No.
They lied to us.
And I know somebody here in particular is not too happy about that.
George Sadface Bakar, everybody.
Yeah, unless I could find a few people that really want 20 games, I don't know if I could sell my other 2.
Well, I'd make sure you get those 3DSs online and make sure they connect to the eShop, so that way you get those free games on there. Because that's actually a pretty good deal.
The thing is that to kind of keep the value of them, there's 10 free to download. I think it's Game Boy Advance games, and then there's another. NES games. I believe.
Well, NES and Game Boy Advance,
and Game Boy Advance,
and there's another 10
exclusive
games. That's what it said.
No, it's 20
They were
total.
exclusive to just those people who bought it early. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
that was a
Pretty
very,
sure.
very convoluted explanation, but yes.
It was very
Alright,
confusing in their announcement. I'm just going to leave it at
let's
that.
just start from the beginning here. The 3DS, it is a great system, has its flaws. When Nintendo came out and announced the price, they said, it's going to be $250. And everybody kind of freaked out about that. Like,
that much for a handheld?
yeah, it is ridiculously priced. And,
We picked a real opportune time to freeze there.
yeah.
Give us a mix shot there.
Yeah, that's,
Oh.
Looks like we're having a little bit of difficulty here.
Oh boy, only on the GenGAMEcast.
A little bit of difficulty.
yeah.
Looks
We
like
can see Lex holding a, Lord knows what that is. This is like a totem pole of some sort.
All right, so
Okay.
Nintendo said,
While the hamsters get back on the wheel and spin all this, let's keep talking about the 3DS.
so the 3DS, they when they announced the price, they're like, yeah, so we gauged the market demand. We think this is a good price point. And their investors were like, yeah, it's great. I don't know how well it's going to sell, but let's just we'll roll with it. First month goes by, they did okay, and they still haven't sold 1 million units, but the sales have really dropped off in this past month. I think they sold like what a sixth of what they sold initially. I think that was the number.
I think it was like a sixth
in
or
fact,
like a fifth of it.
The sales of the older gen Nintendo handheld consoles still outweigh the 3DS consoles.
2 to 1, 2
Yeah.
to 1, and anybody that
Not
holds a job in selling video game stuff will clearly be able to pick up on that trend, like myself. And yes, it is pretty evident that the DS Lite and the DSi combined are outselling the 3DS.
When you said
by
like
a
Game
massive
Boy
margin.
handhelds, I immediately just shot to like, who's buying the Game Boy Pocket or something out there?
No, I
like
said Nintendo handhelds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Game
well,
Boy.
why would you think of Game Boy Pocket?
it's a Game Boy.
No.
I don't know. I was thinking of the old Game Boy. I don't know why.
Yes.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But I'm
It
kind of
was
psyched.
this year.
I'm kind of psyched. I'm looking to get some trade-in value for my DSi XL and pick up. That's like a funny statement. It's not going to
Yeah,
be
you're
much.
gonna get like what $30. I think you're gonna get $30.
Are you
I'm pretty much like I'm pretty much solidified. I'm gonna get like a nickel and like a gumball.
Use it as a paperweight. Yeah.
I have the old DS, and it
Oh.
seems like I keep these things too
Ooh, well,
long
that's
to the
heavier.
point where I can't trade it in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still have my Game Boy Color.
I do too.
Oh wow.
I do too.
I
Will I ever-
actually
probably
just found my Game Boy Color. So.
Complete with Yoda stories, the forgotten Star Wars game that no one ever played.
Oh boy.
I'm
I
psyched to
have-
be getting 3DS though.
I
Sorry,
have that
George.
Gex game. I don't even know what it's called, but it was really good. I don't know. Anyways, getting back on topic.
Yeah,
I'd
getting
imagine
back
you're
on
mad.
topic,
You bought two.
What?
You bought two 3DSs.
I bought 3 3DS.
three 3DSs for $90.
So
You
there's
multiply there.
there is a lot of I mean, even still at this moment, there are still stories coming out about the 3DS price drop. Everybody's talking about this. This is like the most important thing in gaming this year so far. We're coming right around the corner to the holiday season, and Nintendo needed to revamp their strategy. I mean, Satoru Iwata took a huge salary cut on this because
It was like half.
yeah,
or
he took
something like that.
he took a 50% salary cut because of the 3DS's performance, which is to say the least extremely drastic.
It's when I think about it, it comes down to the launch titles.
Nothing
Too big.
Well, I thought it had a very good core group of launch titles, but nothing really.
Come on, like, where's the
nothing
Mario
of
game?
punch.
No, it didn't. It didn't have any replay value.
Like Mario Kart
7
on like Mario Party.
But
3DS.
the fact is, there wasn't even a Mario Kart game.
There was nothing Mario.
No,
there was
Mario.
nothing Mario. There was nothing Donkey Kong.
To be honest, I think Nintendo was going with a different strategy here. They
pay off.
They were trying to launch a console without any of their core franchises. I mean, to be honest, I think they were hoping that Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D was going to be ready for the launch of the system.
Just didn't work out.
And it did not pan out at all.
No.
When you think about it, though, the development time for Ocarina of Time 3D, very short, comparative to...
Oh, I can guarantee you that game was in development.
Oh, no, I mean, but...
Had to have been in development for more than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's
still.
fair to say.
I mean,
Now,
coming
if
out
they
for a
released
brand new handheld, new at the time.
If they would have just released it with the remake of Superman 64, I feel like...
George, I just wish the video was transmitting.
Couple of extra levels.
I'm sorry.
Maybe you could
couple of extra levels.
Throw like 2 cars instead in like 4 seconds.
2 cars at once.
Oh my god,
that would have been the added gameplay functionality.
Yeah,
that would have been great. Maybe some directions. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a manual that explained things or
rings and
solve my maze.
They'll give you 5 seconds before you get to use the level to figure out what you're doing. But
it's like stop them.
Lex always wins.
Yes,
God.
Lex always wins at the end.
Not our Lex, unfortunately.
No.
Different Lex.
So essentially, I think more than anything, I think Sony needs to be worried about this.
I just looked at that. You wrote, "Who's more worried?" Capitalized more, but didn't capitalize
yes.
worried. Whatever.
Podcast notes aside, I think Sony's should be more worried about this than Nintendo, because they're about to launch a new system coming in at a price point of $250.
NGP?
Yeah, the the Vita.
PSV.
The PSV.
Yeah.
NGPs, PSVs, LCDs, DVDs,
OLEDs.
UMDs.
Even though none of what you just said is actually...
UMD.
UMDs.
Kevin, you've mentioned everything that wasn't in the PSV.
You almost said
There
NGP.
are no... It's not...
It is the NGP.
Yeah,
it's the next generation portable.
It is.
Okay, yeah,
but regardless, Sony's going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't think the Vita will sell nearly as well as the 3DS did at launch, because I don't think they have even as close of a good launch lineup as the
Isn't Drake
3DS.
Is Drake launch title?
I don't know if Drake is going to be a launch title or not.
If it is, I will say that it would sell much better, because there are a lot of Drake fans. I've never played it, but I can tell just from news traffic, buzz about it, everything that they talked about at what was that big convention? E3.
Yeah,
people were talking about all the
conference.
Drake Uncharted games.
I don't think it's going to be as good as everybody says it is.
on
Here's
the
my problem I have
NGP.
with all of these sales. There are certain games that you would call a PC game, mouse and keyboard. There are certain games that you would call a console game specific, like you wouldn't want to play it on a PC. I don't know if there's such thing as a handheld game anymore. I don't know if there's a game out there where you're like, oh, I really need to play this on handheld, and I really need that handheld.
Well,
That's true.
Other than Pokemon.
Yeah.
Other than Pokemon.
To be honest, that is probably Nintendo's biggest console seller.
Right.
I mean, when Pokemon makes the jump to the 3DS, it is going to be huge.
They should have just waited a month
For Gen
made
5.
Black and White come out in 3D.
I don't know. They would have been missing a lot of customers with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been great if they launched, a Pokemon game launching on a handheld. I would have bought a 3DS.
Like Ranger or anything like that. They would have had to really do a real game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why my video isn't working, by the way. It should be.
We're going to try to reconnect you
mine
guys.
Pay no attention to the men behind the buffer wall.
We're going to try to fix the video issues here, but
We're going to do it in Connect Real Time.
Oh boy, we're gonna try to fix this up here. Hopefully, we can get the video up and running again.
What's the pause command? It's like slightly to the left. Your arm is like
hold the arm out to the side.
It's almost like traffic signals. It's like
yeah.
So
all right, so it looks like we got video back for George at least. So we'll use this opportunity to to go ahead and just get into the
topics.
final part of this topic, which is this holiday season, who's going to win in sales? The Nintendo with the 3DS price cut, or the PSV being a brand new system with Uncharted?
I would say the 3DS. Just because it's Nintendo, and I don't know, the Vita, well, Sony really hasn't had great experiences with the handheld. I mean, the PSP Go
Oh, God, that was
didn't
terrible.
really go anywhere.
Oh, it went somewhere.
Straight into the garbage.
Like the PS Go Home.
Kevin with the zinger.
Nintendo fanboy forever. Come on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you could ask me the question. I'm kind of Nintendo fanboy, too.
We're biased, but we're
Yeah.
Aaron,
justifiably
Aaron, one of our
biased.
writers, just wrote in the chat, more like PSP stop.
That's true.
That's great. That's great.
Based on titles that are going to be out for the holiday season, though, why wouldn't you say the 3DS?
Nintendo.
Well, yeah.
The way I see it is Nintendo got the jump start on it. They pushed it out early, and now they have their titles to push out at a price cut. Like, what parent? Because when it comes down to it, for the holiday season, it's parents buying gifts for their kids. What's going to be stuffed in under the Christmas tree in the stocking? It's going to be, Ocarina of Time 3D. Maybe they're going to have some kind of Christmas special for it. I doubt it, but maybe some kind of like Ocarina of Time 3D bundle. Whether it be what?
Dude, America got bent over with the Ocarina of Time 3D
no.
pre-orders. We got nothing.
They're waiting.
No, they're not. The game's already out. I mean, if you look at you look at the pre-order
Holiday
bundles
season.
that every other country got, like every other region got like an Ocarina.
Australia
pre-order. Yeah, Australia got
Yeah,
they got a good deal there. Yeah. They didn't get the party though. We got the party.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say they didn't get the Nintendo World.
Yeah.
Still, though, I mean, when it comes down to it, though, look at the titles that are coming out. I know George is excited about Luigi's Mansion 2. I mean, you get the Mario Kart game. We have a Super Mario 3D game coming out.
Well, it's Super Mario 3D Land.
You get Kid Icarus.
That's what it's called now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super
But
Mario
we still
3D Land.
We still have Wii games coming out.
You still have Star Fox
excited
64.
about anybody excited about Kirby Wii?
No.
I'm actually pretty excited about Kirby Wii.
I want to play Kirby Wii.
Kirby Wii is a possibility.
This is gonna
That
be
was
very-
that rumored Nintendo GameCube game that was never ever made, and they made Kirby's Air Ride, and I was so mad. I wanted to play Kirby. I wanted to play Kirby and the Crystal Shards 2, and it just never happened.
To be honest,
This
though,
is it.
Nintendo going to have a pretty awesome holiday season. They got a lot of great games, good hardware, and then they've got Zelda Skyward Sword to just seal the deal on the Wii.
And then we have
Here's the
the
thing,
And
looming
then next year they get the Wii U.
Wii U cloud is just like hovering over the horizon. It's like, yes, great games, and then it's like the Galactus cloud from that horrible Silver Surfer movie, which we won't reference at all.
Alrighty, I think
With that,
I just blew George's mind. I think I just blew his mind. Could see it oozing out of his headset.
my headset that I have.
Finally, George got a headset, which means he could podcast.
I had
with
to
us.
make the mention to
All
it.
right. So let's move on to the next big story here. Ubisoft loves its DRM. In fact, it says that it's doing fantastic. What do you guys think about that?
It is.
Well, it's, I don't know. DRM's there for a reason, but it just, I don't know. I get that the piracy,
It's an issue.
it is an issue. I don't know. It's there.
Lex, do me a favor, just move your mic down a little bit, so it's
Yeah,
a bit
that's what I
more in
was
front of your
trying
face.
to-
There you go.
Lex 2.0 with
Lex
microphone
clear audio.
with microphone adjusting abilities.
How did it get up there?
You never know. That's why I got the mic stands.
It's eating my face.
The mic
See now,
stays right in front.
in like 2 seconds, you're just going to see the mic stand. It's like flipped upside down for me, and like over there.
But anyway, back to your point. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Ubisoft issue that the PC gamers had with Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2 when their servers went down, and they weren't allowed to play the game. I mean, it is a huge issue. Because what if something like that happens, or if you're an offline gamer?
Or better yet, what if you're 10 years down the road and the servers don't exist anymore and you can't authenticate the game?
Or that.
Like, you're going to be playing Assassin's Creed 7.
Think of it this way. Say Half-Life, the original Half-Life, had the need to be online to play the game. And this is way back in the day before Steam. And you had to sign into a server and connect. Do you know how old that game is now? There's no way Valve would still be supporting that game.
Look at Halo 2. Not necessary to play online, but still.
Well, I mean,
look at MMOs. Look at Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies in the loom of the Old Republic game. That
MMOs,
game is going to just
MMOs, though, you need a server, though, because you can't be massive multiplayer online.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking more about single-player core experiences here.
I'm just saying, servers could drop for games that are just too old.
Yeah.
Now,
simple.
How many gamers really don't go online? How many gamers don't have an online connection?
You'd be surprised.
Well,
kidding.
No, really.
Super Mario World all day.
Well, I mean, but honestly, like, say for example, like there was a point in time where I was traveling everywhere with travel hockey, and to get my PC gaming fix, I'd just have my laptop with me, take it with me, sitting in an airport, just play whatever that I had on my computer.
That's why you have a 3DS.
Well, that was before the 3DS, man.
I'm just saying. For that time, I think people are just going to have to deal. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. And
the average person doesn't spend that much time traveling. The average person doesn't spend that much time on a train or away from their home when they're gaming. I don't know. I'm on the other side. I'm with Ubisoft here.
I support their decision to protect their games, but I think what they should do is they should do what Valve did and have an offline mode where you could say, hey, I'm going to be offline, and authenticates your computer for a certain amount of days to play offline.
That's big. Agreement. That's big. I'm in agreement with that. I love the single player experience.
Yeah.
I mean, say for example, like there are thunderstorms rolling through my area right now. My computer's on some sort of magical powered thing that's not going to let it go out for up to an hour.
The Gen Game generator.
Yes,
there's the triple G.
Yeah.
Yeah, the triple G is powering the studio.
Trevor
right now,
has the 3G.
And if the broadcast, if the internet actually goes out, it'll actually start going over my phone, over AT&T's network.
It's pretty awesome.
That's actually the fallback. If it goes down, it just goes over the phone.
Failsafe is Trevor's phone. I'm really glad it's not my phone.
So if you notice, we turned into like an 8-bit TV show. That's essentially what happened. Kevin's gonna turn into like 3 pixels.
I'm gonna be like a white pixel, a brown pixel, and like a gray pixel for the shirt.
But I mean, if in that case, like you drop the connection, and it's like, oh, by the way, we lost connection. You can't play anymore. This game will now close.
Then you say single player mode.
Rage.
No, then you say
you play single player mode.
Well, I mean, if
you
you're
play
playing
Diablo 2.
No, that's during the single player mode.
No, this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, you need to be connected to the internet to play single player.
No, that's just dumb. When you think about it, like you say that sentence, that's just dumb.
Now, what if you could install the game to a primary, and with that primary, you don't need to be connected to the internet?
Well, yeah, I think that should be something they should work in. But I know Ubisoft, they don't have idiots there. They're going to work this out in a way that's good for them, protecting their product, and good for the consumer. And I think they should just give up and just distribute through Steam. Call it a day.
An option.
That is an option. But, I mean, DRM is just something that's just been... It's that nagging bug that just seems to be... It's like coming back, and then it gets pulled back, and then it gets pushed forward, it comes back. And I think it's going to be... Something's going to happen like it did in the music industry, where they're like, you know what? This isn't worth it to try to protect this music. We want to push out more at different price points. And then Steve Jobs wrote his letter to the music industry saying, by the way, if you want to be on iTunes, you're removing your DRM. And then nobody has DRM now.
Do what Super Monkey Island did with that little wheel thing.
Well, I'm not familiar.
No?
No.
Oh, in their packaging, in order to activate it originally, there was this like wheel that you could move. It was like a decoder wheel.
There was some Commodore games that did that.
Yeah.
Angry Video Game Nerd did a video with this one.
God.
Yeah.
What game was it?
Yeah,
for the Commodore? Is it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes, it was.
Turn the dial to put in those words, and that was the only thing that you had was
you had the code sheet.
Yeah, it was the brown code sheet.
For the Commodore, you had this nasty brown code sheet that was made so that you couldn't photocopy it. Yep. Believe it or not. So you couldn't photocopy it and steal it or whatever. It was like, who's going to steal a code list of Commodore games? Back then, it was an idea.
Back then, they would have. Remember, don't copy that floppy?
Yes.
Oh, God. And then the don't copy that sequel 10 years later. Oh, God. Oh, no, that's bringing back bad visions.
Okay, let's go back to the future.
Let's get back to
now.
the good.
Let's not talk about the Commodore.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Diablo 3 versus Torchlight 2. I know Kevin's excited about this. We'll let him take over.
Diablo 3. What more can you say?
Well, you can't play the game offline, Kev.
I know.
Shame.
I know. I haven't even been keeping up on my Diablo 3 stuff, which is unfortunate.
And there's no LAN play.
Yeah.
And there's no mod support. Plugins? Forget about it.
But for a game like Diablo, that could really break it, unless you.
I mean
custom
mods,
servers
custom
and
maps,
stuff.
and whatnot.
The whole point of Diablo is random generated, though.
Stabbed in the chest there. It's like.
Maybe in the future. Maybe Diablo 4. At this point, I would say Blizzard, Activision.
Activision Blizzard.
Take your time. Diablo 3 can wait. I'll still play Diablo 2 expansion. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
No, Kev, it's not that they're gonna. Kev,
don't worry,
Kev,
guys.
Kev, I just want to make this clear. They pulled it out. It was there, but they pulled it out. They're like, "Hey, this is great. This is great." Oh wait, no, we can't just put this great of a product together. We got to pull some features out and make the community suffer. And then Torchlight 2 comes out, and we just saw this on Twitter earlier that they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have LAN support, we're gonna have mod support, online support, multiplayer support, anything you want, it's there for you."
Just goes to show that the 2s in the series in video games tend to do a lot better than the 3s. It's not like movies where 2 is just horrible. Diablo 2 was probably the best game ever made.
George, do you have any opinion on this?
I just watched. I said that and just watched the expressions like. I've never played this. What game is this?
I'm just thinking about what you're saying, and it's just. Yes, the 2s are generally the best ones because they obviously improve on everything that 1 came out with. And then after that, if they've done a well enough job, they can't really improve that much with a third game.
You know what was the great thing about Diablo and Diablo 2?
Other than Warcraft, I'm sorry.
Want to hear the best thing? I'll take you all back in time. We'll tell you a little story about a game that I used to play called Diablo. Diablo 2 when it came out way back in 1945 when the internet was just new. This game was very tough. You played online with friends. But in the instance where, God forbid, your internet dropped or you just didn't want to hang out with those friends for whatever reason and kill legions upon legions, you take your character, you play in single player. That's it. You had a single player character. You played single player. And you know what? It was more challenging and a lot more fun.
Ooh.
Playing Diablo in a single player setting is just, it's tough.
Ooh.
And that's my soapbox for the evening.
All right. Alrighty, so you may have seen...
I'm upset about it. Let's just leave it at that.
Have we hit everything on this topic yet?
I think we have.
I think so.
Have we beaten this dead horse yet?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really mention too much about Torchlight 2, except that it's going to be...
I think it's got a shot at being better than Diablo 3, just on the fact that its developers are listening to its users.
Oh, you
Unlike Activision Blizzard, who really needs to die in a fire. I said it.
Whoa.
I pulled that one out. Yeah, that was kind of harsh, but yeah, they really need to start
dying in fires.
Yeah, they need to just that part in Portal where you're sliding into the fire. Can somebody just take the portal gun away from them there and just let them just slide in there?
Aw.
We actually speaking of Torchlight, though, before we do, Aaron did write a review on the original Torchlight, which you could actually check out on GenGame.net. We'll probably leave it in the show notes, though. So if somebody wants to drop that link in the show notes, that'd be great.
I just posted it in the chat for now.
George, that means posted in the show notes. All right. So let's, speaking of listening to the community, who wants to see Majora's Mask 3D? Anybody? Anybody?
Yeah.
Show of hands?
Yeah.
Show of hands?
Hands.
Stone Tower Temple 3D.
I don't know. I think everybody kind of wants to see it. And there have been probably multiple petitions filed online with probably, I think there was over 10,000.
Project Moonfall?
Yeah, Project Moonfall. They got 10,000 people already. So
that means it's definitely going to happen.
It's going to happen. Ooh, it's going to happen.
It certainly is not going to happen within 72 hours.
Yeah.
That is one thing that is assured.
I'll be honest, though. There's part of me that wants to see it, and there's part of me that says, no, don't do it. And
what part of you says that?
The part of me that wants to see a new Zelda game.
Yeah, I mean, if you... but the thing is that they could just dump it off to... Who's It's What's? The guys who made Ocarina of Time 3D. I forget the company. Grezzo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean... Grezzo.
But then again, though, Nintendo's still going to stand over their shoulder.
You still have to supervise it. That's the thing. And that's Nintendo, and that's why their games are great.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could just take Miyamoto and say, hey, just check on them every week, once a week or so, and say, okay, how's the progress going? Okay, looks good. Okay, awesome. I mean, in reality, that game was pretty awesome, and to basically put it in 3D, you just got to tighten up the textures a little bit. Well, they already tightened up all the textures with Ocarina of Time. It's just a matter of importing the new maps.
I don't know if it's that easy.
Well,
you're making it sound like it's like drag and drop download to your applications.
Well, essentially,
for all of you non-Mac users, it's just easier. You just drag and drop, and it's good.
Majora's Mask was.
You want me to do that again?
Yeah, we'll drag
Ready?
from.
Ready for this?
We'll drag from your shot over to this shot, and there we go. It's essentially that game. That game was a.
It's right here on the laptop. There's a Majora's Mask 3D on the Mac.
That game was, to be honest, a lot of reused character models, textures that they already recreated for Ocarina of Time 3D. So, I mean, probably 30% of the work's already done. I'm not going to say more than 50 because they still gotta map everything out in 3D, make sure everything looks good and shiny. But
maybe make the giants
started work
look a little better. You know, the giants were originally enemies in the Ocarina of Time game.
Yeah.
Really?
That's completely wrong. That is not true at all. I'm sorry. I just had to.
Oh, boo.
But a lot of the character models are going to have to be ported. I've always made the joke how they look like pieces of chicken.
They were rejected enemies.
Yeah, they were rejected. They weren't even from Ocarina of Time. They were just a rejected enemy from a Japanese N64 game that never made it. They just took it. They were a little close on the development time, and they needed to add a few things. 4 giants. Let's do it.
We need some giants here. Okay. We really don't have the time to make some new unique character models here. Oh, we'll just take 4 of those guys, and we'll just
animated legs.
Drag them here and drop them there. And that's it.
Done.
Drag and drop.
God, we're gonna be using that.
We've
over
oversimplified the process of making video games. It's now a drag and drop feature. We're just going to drag Link to the Past and put it in a full 3D rendered game now. It's just drag and drop. We're going to download like Trevor's posters into the game. It sounds like Peter Molyneux now.
Oh, God.
Where it's like the new Fable 4 game will have downloadable character packs that will shoot out from the game onto yourself. It supports full motion with the new horse peripheral that you use and you.
All right, Kev. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but
just watch one of the interviews. Just Milo, okay? Milo. Everybody. George is like, who's that?
Yes.
Alrighty. So we'll leave a link to the Project Moonfall.
Okay, I thought you were talking about.
I thought you were going to say we were going to leave it to the horse peripheral sketch plan.
We're going to leave it to
something.
That would be cool for a Zelda game. Zelda game on Connect. What did he say?
Hey, no. Bad, George. You're getting disconnected from this call. Alrighty, time to move into the news segment on the show. News that wasn't really news. Let's go ahead and hit this one rapid fire here, folks. The Commando perk is going to be removed from Modern Warfare 3. Thank God. George is not happy about that. Kevin's happy.
Part of the game.
It's part of the game, so you should totally manipulate it.
They're removing it because they want to balance the multiplayer more, and I couldn't agree with them more. Call of Duty has become so much of a Twitch shooter that's super competitive that they're focused on just balancing the game out, and good for them. Moving right along to Words with Friends on Facebook.
I got nothing.
Isn't that the Hangman game?
No, it's the.
I'm thinking of Hanging with Friends.
No, that's
Hanging with Friends.
It's the Scrabble ripoff.
Yeah, my girlfriend was playing Hanging with Friends for a good portion of our trip.
Wait, seriously? That's an actual game?
Yeah, it's Hangman like Scrabble.
Yeah, they just have to work on the name.
Hanging with Friends.
It's called Hanging with Friends.
It's hanging, you know.
So it's like Hangman, but you play it with your friends.
Yeah, and you try to guess their word. And I honestly don't know how the scoring goes, but somebody eventually wins. I just was prodded awake. Help me with this word.
I need to know this word.
Help me with this word. I'm a whiz at the jumble. Do it every morning.
More interestingly, Mirror's Edge 2 will be running on the Frostbite engine, specifically the Frostbite 2 engine. Now, this is interesting because we've seen a lot of snippets here and there talking about Mirror's Edge 2. And to be honest, this is really not news. Because
hence the news that wasn't really news. It's quite an acronym.
It's not news because there's no official announcement. There's no renders. There's no developer quote here that could be misinterpreted. All we've heard so far is, there might be a Mirror's Edge game in development. We don't know yet.
Could have been me making it up.
Yeah. Could have just been.
I made legitimate websites just to...
See, if you go to mirrorsedge2.com, that actually redirects to GenGame.net.
Actually, it redirects to several of my free webs pages and GeoCities sites.
Dude, GeoCities has been down for forever. Oh, God.
It's just cities now.
On a bit more of a morbid note, Dead Gamer's dad warns us to take frequent breaks in a story that's been run by just about everybody.
Yeah, it's just...
it's a bit of a sad story. A UK gamer was found dead, and they did the autopsy, and they found out that he died because of a clot that traveled from his leg to his heart. The moral of the story here, folks, is don't game for longer than 12 hours before getting up and taking a walk.
That's just ridiculous. Yeah,
that is like a freak accident.
I to be honest, I think there has to be something a bit more at play than just him sitting down and playing games. Because at that rate, you're saying, that's just as dangerous as sitting in an office.
Exactly.
And staring at a computer screen
all day.
It's as dangerous as sleeping.
In a new study, scientists found that sleeping.
Well, here's the thing. Depending on how he sits, if he sits like Indian style for 12 hours at a time, I can understand. Is that politically correct anymore? No, it's not, right?
It's actually Native American style.
Yes, right. Yes.
It's cross-legged.
Cross-legged. That is the PC way.
Cross-legged style.
All right.
Yeah.
That's okay, George. We'll knock you one for that.
If he was sitting with his legs crossed for 12 hours, I could definitely imagine that being a possibility.
I mean, I don't want to make it seem like that we're making light of the situation here. I mean, I feel bad for the family. Our condolences go out to the family.
Obviously.
Yes.
But I think the story, the way it got blown up out of proportion like this,
games are bad.
It's ridiculous to say the least. Absurd.
Everyone just looks for a reason to hate on games.
Yeah, I mean, it's like GTA definitely caused Columbine.
Yep. Yep. So did Counter-Strike.
Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, it was Counter-Strike, but we're gonna get away from that.
Yeah.
To our final piece.
First, we're talking about in politically correct terms. Now we're talking about Columbine, GTA,
and Counter-Strike.
And finally, GenGAMEcast had 2,622 Minecraft players on one server. We got a video here too. I hope this video is SFW. So
it is.
Okay, cool. Oh, there's an advertisement. No.
Oh, no advertisements.
Oh.
Mute that.
So we'll have a.
We'll just assume that
we'll leave the link in the show notes. But
that's a lot of. Let's just say that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people to have concurrently connected.
It's crazy.
A lot of griefing going on there.
Lots of griefing that could.
Because I doubt those 2,622 people were all focused on a build.
You know what that kind of looks like? That kind of looks like the South Park episode where I believe Stan is trapped inside Facebook.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
That's kind of what that reminds me of, just a little bit.
And they all had world edit. I'm kidding.
Imagine you're like world editing things around each other. It's like, oh, I'm gonna world edit Bedrock around you. Oh no, that would be terrible.
All right. Just join the server, you're dead.
Join the server, you spawn in lava. That's it.
They had 2,622 people burning in lava.
All right.
That just sounds like a mishmash of horrible.
Well, it could be awesome at the same time, though. Imagine if it's whitelisted. Oh man, that would be ridiculous. It's like, okay, we got to whitelist this person, and okay, then that person. Okay, maybe him. Okay, not him. Definitely not him. He has griefed in the past. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up the show for this week. You could follow us all on Twitter here. George, what is your Twitter?
At George Picard.
Yeah, you're at George Picard. So you can follow George Picard. He is at George Picard, also fellow writer for GenGame.net. You could follow Lex Megahan on Twitter. He's Undead Lex. You could, of course, follow Kevin on Twitter. He's _Hawkeye. And, of course, you can follow myself on Twitter. I am at the Mags. You could actually now leave us a voicemail. This is pretty awesome. We just got this set up a few days ago. But if you dial 513-GenGame, as Kevin is beautifully demonstrating right now, you can actually leave us a voicemail. And we'll this will be the segment where we do the voicemails, the viewer emails, and whatnot. If you want to leave us an email, you could send us an email live@gengame.net. That gets sent to the show.
My phone doesn't work on the front.
Oh, that's
the buttons don't work.
Well, we'll take our word for it. If you dial 513-GenGame, you'll be connected to our voicemail line, which is awesome. We just set that up to hear my voice. Say, hey, you've reached the GenGame.net voicemail line. Leave us a message after the tone. And then you can leave us a message. Try to keep it under 30 seconds so we can play it on the show. You could also leave us an email. Live@GenGame.net. And, of course, you can leave a comment on the post when it goes up. But I'm Trevor Mignani, and this is Kevin, that's Lex, and there's George. Thank you for joining us. See you next time for the GenGAMEcast.
Bye-bye, folks.
Later.